Hey everyone, today we need to talk about something that just happened in California that you are not going to believe, and the people in Sacramento are scrambling to figure out what to do about it. Picture this with me. A kid grows up in South Africa, moves to Canada, and then drops out of Stanford just days into his PhD program. He co-founds a rocket company that everyone says is going to fail. He builds an electric car company that Wall Street bets against constantly. For 2 decades, he fights, grinds, and builds. Then, on June 12, 2026, it all pays off. His rocket company, SpaceX, goes public. And because of that IPO, the company's valuation shoots past $2 trillion. It makes Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. But that's not the headline. The headline is the 4,400 SpaceX employees who also became millionaires overnight. Overnight, 4,400 brand new millionaires, some of them making tens of millions in a single day. And then the phone calls started. Because there is a place just a few hours away by plane where the sun is shining, the taxes are zero, and the welcome mat is out. We are witnessing the beginning of the second great California gold rush. But this time, the gold is not being dug out of the ground. It's flying out of Silicon Valley on private jets. And the state of California might have just lit the fuse. Hit subscribe because we are connecting the dots on how a single IPO might trigger the largest exodus of wealth in American history. Let's get into it. To understand the shockwave that just hit California, you have to start with that date, June 12, 2026. SpaceX, after years of speculation, finally went public. And it was a blockbuster. The company's valuation soared past $2 trillion, making Elon Musk the first person in history to have a net worth exceeding $1 trillion. Now, Elon is Elon. But think about the 4,400 employees, engineers, programmers, technicians, people who had been working 80-hour weeks for a decade, believing in the mission, taking stock options instead of high salaries. As Joe DeGrossa, the chair of DeGrossa Capital Partners, put it, many of them are not making millions, they're making tens of millions overnight. This is what they call a liquidity event in finance. It's the moment a paper fortune becomes real cash. And what happens when thousands of young, ambitious tech millionaires suddenly have tens of millions of dollars in liquid assets? They start thinking about their future. And more importantly, where they want to build it. Here's where the context gets brutal for California. At the exact same time these 4,400 people are cashing in, California's financial house is on fire. Gas prices, you're looking at some of the highest prices in the nation, with projections from experts like USC's Michael Misha predicting $8.43 a gallon by the end of the year. Transit deficit, the state is staring down a staggering $31 billion transit deficit. The billionaire tax, a radical ballot initiative, the 2026 Billionaire Tax Act, is heading to the ballot in November. It's a one-time 5% levy on the total net worth of billionaires. And there's more. Los Angeles County alone lost over 54,000 residents in a single year. Chapman University professor Joel Kotkin gave a warning that sent chills down my spine. He said, we started to see the outmigration. It was very concentrated among poor, working class people. Increasingly, the people leaving are wealthier. And that means that they're taking their tax dollars with them. He warned that this would put pressure on the remaining middle class to bail it out. Add to that the recent layoffs at tech titans Amazon eliminating over 500 corporate roles in Washington state, Microsoft slowing hiring, and Starbucks moving 2,000 corporate jobs to Nashville. The economic engines that fueled the state for decades are sputtering. So, you're a 28-year-old SpaceX engineer. You just made $15 million in the IPO. You've done the math. You are now a high earner in the state with the highest income tax rate in the country, 3% for individuals making over $1 million. You look at your paycheck and realize that the state is taking a massive chunk of the fortune you just spent a decade building. Then you look at the news and see the state trying to pass a new wealth tax. Then you look at the fires, the homelessness, the gas lines, and you start asking yourself, what am I paying for? Robert Ravani, a developer who moved his firm from LA to Miami, put it bluntly, the fact that you're paying more in income tax than you take home yourself on an annual basis is madness to me. I'd be somewhat okay with even paying that high tax rate if we didn't have our economy falling apart, if we didn't have such a massive increase in homelessness, if we have such a mass increase in crime. You're paying all this money, but for what? And now, here comes the flood. The phone calls to luxury real estate brokers in South Florida started spiking the day after the SpaceX IPO. Jenny Morhan, the CEO of the Fort Lauderdale Downtown Development Authority, said the California area codes have already started showing up. They are looking for one thing: sanctuary. Florida has no state individual income tax, no capital gains tax, zero. You're not just seeing this with the new millionaires. The billionaires have been voting with their feet for a while now. Mark Zuckerberg dropped $170 million on a Miami mansion in March. Larry Page spent $173.4 million on 2 homes in Miami in December. Jeff Bezos, Peter Thiel, and Larry Ellison have all officially left or established major presences in the state. This isn't a trickle, it's a tidal wave. You want to know how crazy this has gotten? Look at what's happening on the billboards in Los Angeles. Dina Golden-Taylor, Douglas Elliman's No. 1 agent nationwide, literally put up billboards in LA that read, "Your wealth is wanted." Step inside with me. #move to Miami. She told Fox News that every buyer over $30 million that I'm working with currently is from California. It absolutely picked up right at the tail end of the year when the Google founders were purchasing property in Miami. She added, as far as the ultra high net worth individuals, the billionaires, they obviously don't feel wanted in the blue states. They are not being loved in Manhattan and Los Angeles, so it is being signaled that Florida wants you. This is a tectonic shift. We are talking about billions of dollars in assets under management that have already relocated from states like California and New York to the Sun Belt. And what is the state of California doing about it? Governor Gavin Newsom, who is not running for re-election, has been publicly outspoken against the billionaire tax. He reportedly was left sick upon learning of the outmigration. He's the progressive governor who is now warning his own party that their tax policies are driving people away. But here's the number that should terrify Sacramento. According to experts, the wealth flight is so severe that it's going to hollow out the middle class. Professor Joel Kotkin didn't mince words. If you're going to really maintain a low employment welfare state, which is where California is going, you're going to have to tax the hell out of the middle and upper middle class, because that's where the money is. The state is eating its seed corn. It is driving out the people who fund the schools, the hospitals, and the roads. And the people left behind, they are going to get squeezed until there's nothing left. Now, let's be real. This isn't just about California. This is a warning to every state in America. New York City is currently watching a similar fight play out, with Mayor Zohran Mamdani's tax the rich policies facing fierce pushback from JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, who warned that the city's high taxes are sparking a large exodus of businesses. Washington state is facing a cooling economy, prompting Governor Bob Ferguson to create a new council to figure out how to stop businesses from leaving. The pattern is the same everywhere. High taxes plus aggressive rhetoric plus rising costs tucks exodus. But the story of the SpaceX millionaires is the perfect microcosm of this. The state provides the ecosystem, the universities, and the infrastructure that allow companies like SpaceX to flourish. And then, as soon as the wealth is created, it feels entitled to a massive cut. And the creators of that wealth, who are more mobile and more connected than ever, simply say, no thanks. Robert Ravani summed it up perfectly. California has got to come back. Did Detroit ever come back? Did Minnesota ever come back? He added, taxing the rich and getting nothing for it, not only for the wealthy people, but for the economy and the people itself, is a zero-sum solution. It does not work. So, here's the bottom line. A kid from South Africa took on the world and won, creating 4,400 millionaires in a single day. And in that same week, 4,400 new millionaires realized that their future might not be in the state that helped them get there. Florida and Texas aren't stealing these people. California is sending them away. It's sending them away with a stack of tax bills, a crumbling infrastructure, and a political class that treats them like a piggy bank to be broken. When a billionaire leaves, you might not care. But when 4,400 high-income earners leave, that's when the ambulance sirens you hear on the street stop showing up as fast. That's when the potholes on your road don't get fixed. That's when your property taxes go up to cover the loss. Robert Ravani said the hardest part was leaving his family behind in California. But he had to do it for his future. He said, I just don't see turning around, at least in the immediate future. The California dream is being packed up in a U-Haul and driven to Miami. And here's the question I want you to drop in the comments. Are you seeing this where you live? Is your state next? If this opened your eyes, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be watching this story every day because this is just the beginning.